Now, sticking with retention for little freshmen, let's go ahead and say that instead of 2 students, we actually had 3 students instead. Well, at this point, we're getting a bunch of different options, so it might actually be easier for us to go ahead and create a tree diagram. Now, this tree diagram is going to be a little bit different than the ones we've created in the past, and that is because in the past, we've done things that are equally weighted. For instance, flipping a coin, 50-50 chance. Rolling a dice, 1 in 6 chance. Each of the possible outcomes in those 2 scenarios are equally likely. Rolling a 1 versus rolling a 5, same chances. In this case, though, our outcomes are not equally weighted. That is, there's an 86% chance a freshman will come back, while there's only a 14% chance that a freshman will not. To reflect this, we're going to go ahead and create our tree diagram like we normally do. That is, for each different student, we'll have a split in our branches. But we're going to go ahead and put the probabilities on the branches. Once again, what we call a weighted tree diagram is there are different probabilities for the different options out there. Now that we've gotten all of our options listed out, we can go ahead and look at what this is telling us. And to do that, we need to go ahead and find a different probability. Let's say that given our group of 3 students, we want to find the probability that all 3 students return. To do this, all we need to do is write it out first of all. This is probably the first returns and the second and the third returns. Same as probability of a return and return and return. Now we can split it up into, because we're assuming they're independent, the probability of return times the probability of return times the probability of return and do it that way. Or we can go ahead and look at our tree diagram to do it. If we look at our tree diagram, we notice that to find return, 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 we go ahead and we trace our upper branches. So up return, over return, up return. This branch will give me the probability all 3 students return. To get my overall probability, all I have to do is multiply along the branches. So I'd have 0.86 times 0.86 times 0.86. On a weighted tree diagram, to do and probabilities, all I actually have to do is multiply along the branches to find the probability of that branch.